News, September 23, 2023. An inflammatory comment by one commentator lays bare a sense of political friction in the diaspora. Chandrayaan-3 was dormant during lunar night, but the extreme cold could have harmed its batteries. Beijing denies claims 3 Indian fighters are unable to enter China for the Asian Games. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said that there were credible reasons for the allegation. The decades-old bill guarantees a third of seats for women in parliament and state assemblies. Many Indian nationals will be able to go home, but the visa suspension will be disruptive for tourists. Pace bowler Naseem Shah is ruled out of Pakistan's squad for the 50-over World Cup in India because of a shoulder injury. Justin Trudeau said he was not trying to provoke India in the row over the killing of a Sikh leader. Memories of the decade-long armed Sikh insurgency, which peaked in the 1980s, remain strong. Prime Minister Modi praises bill as special moment for his country, ahead of general elections. 2 photographers from Tamil Nadu recall what it was like taking pictures of the dead for a living. 4 months after it was torn apart by deadly ethnic violence, Manipur remains gripped by fear. Hardeep Singh Nijjar's fatal shooting in June placed him at the center of a rift between India and Canada. The rift between 2 strategic partners erupted over a Sikh separatist leader's murder in Canada. A former NASA scientist decodes the significance of the discoveries made by the lunar lander and rover. Hundreds of Sikhs protested against the Indian state after the killing of a prominent leader in Canada. India's capital Delhi has undergone a makeover as it prepares to host world leaders. There's excitement in India's capital Delhi ahead of the G20 summit, but also despair. See a simulation of the moment Chandrayaan-3 lands near the moon's south pole for the first time. India's leader Narendra Modi speaks after Chandrayaan-3 becomes the first space mission to land near the south pole of the moon. Watch Samira Hussein's response as India's Chandrayaan-3 space mission reaches the lunar surface. The Chandrayaan-3 craft with an orbiter, lander and a rover lifted off on Friday from Sriharikota Space Center. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has not received any signal from the Chandrayaan-3 lander and rover, Vikram and Pragyan, since their landing on the lunar surface. However, there is still hope that they may wake up during the 14-day lunar day period. If they do wake up, it would allow for repeated in situ experiments and the collection of new data from different locations on the moon. Despite this, the mission has already been considered successful in meeting all its objectives. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh criticized the new parliament building, calling it Modi Multiplex or Modi Marriott. BJP President J.P. Nadda responded, calling the remark a pathetic mindset and an insult to Indians. Union Minister Giriraj Singh demanded an assessment and rationalization of the dynastic dens in India, starting with the transfer of the Safdarjung Road complex back to the government. Steelworkers at Meat Invest in Ukraine have been using fake weapons made from scrap wood, metal, and used tires to deceive Russian troops in the ongoing war between the two countries. The decoy weapons, which mimic advanced defense systems, have successfully tricked Russian forces into wasting valuable ammunition. The cost-effective strategy has allowed Ukraine to preserve its genuine weapons and soldiers' lives while depleting the enemy's arsenal. As India and Canada remain embroiled in a diplomatic row over the killing of Khalistani leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar, the National Investigation Agency on Saturday seized his property at his home in Punjab's Jalandhar district. NIA also confiscated the property of SFJ founder and New York-based secessionist Sikh leader Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, in Chandigarh. He had earlier warned the Hindu community in Canada to leave the country and return to India. The World Bank has reported that over 12.5 million Pakistanis have fallen below the poverty line in the past year, bringing the total number of people living in poverty to 95 million. Pakistan's poverty rate has risen from 34.2% to 39.4% in just 1 year. The country also has the lowest per capita income in South Asia and the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. The Hangzhou Asian Games, a blend of artificial intelligence and eco-friendly technology, opened with a unique opening ceremony featuring a futuristic light show. NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft will return to Earth this weekend, bringing back a sample collected from asteroid Bennu. This is the first time NASA has attempted to collect material from an asteroid and bring it home. The spacecraft will release the sample capsule, which will land in the Utah desert on Sunday. Afterward, the spacecraft will be renamed OSIRIS-APEX and begin a new mission to study the near-Earth asteroid Apophis. Haryana Congress President Uday Bhan found himself in a soup on Saturday after using derogatory language against Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar. BJP leaders lashed out at Bhan for his choice of words against Prime Minister Modi and Khattar and demanded an apology. In a video that is now viral, the Haryana Congress chief can be heard using abusive words while referring to the Prime Minister and the Haryana Chief Minister. India batter Suryakumar Yadav praised pacer Mohammad Shami for his 5-wicket performance against Australia in the opening match of the 3-match ODI series. Shami's swagger and precision dismantled Australia's batting order, with Steve Smith's dismissal being a standout moment. Yadav praised Shami's remarkable achievement, considering his sporadic opportunities in the Indian cricket team. Aam Aadmi Party, AAP, MP Raghav Chadha and actor Parineeti Chopra are all set to tie the knot in the presence of their close family members and friends. According to sources, the couple will exchange nuptial vows on September 24. Many guests have arrived in Udaipur to participate in the wedding rituals. Tennis fans couldn't hope for a more thrilling experience than witnessing the all-time legends of the sport, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, come together. These longtime rivals engaged in a delightful exchange of humor following the first day of the Laver Cup in Vancouver on Friday, during Federer's Encore Q&A, a session. According to recent statistics released by the U.S. Census Board, immigrants, both legal and illegal, make up 13.9% of the total U.S. population. This is a slight increase from the previous year's ratio of 13.6%. The foreign-born population stood at 46.1 million in July 2022, with Indian and Chinese immigrants each comprising 6% of the total immigration count. The number of immigrants from Mexico slightly decreased. ABVP candidate Tushar Dutta won the president's post, Aparajita and Sachin Baila won the post secretary and joint secretary, respectively. The U.S. has officially confirmed that there was shared intelligence among the Five Eyes partners, including Canada, regarding the potential link between the Indian government and the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. United States Ambassador to Canada, David Cohen, stated that there was significant communication between Canada and the U.S. on this matter. India's stand-in skipper KL Rahul, leading the team in the first 2 ODIs of the 3-match series against Australia, discussed the differences between batting as an opener and in middle order. Rahul, who has predominantly opened the innings, highlighted the significant difference between the two roles after delivering a match-winning performance with a half-century at number 4. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said on Saturday that 2 big semiconductor proposals are under process and expected to take shape in the coming few months. Vaishnaw, who was at groundbreaking ceremony of Micron's semiconductor plant in Gujarat, asserted that India's first indigenous microchips are expected to be rolled out by December 2024. He, however, didn't reveal any details about the proposals. Salman Khan features in the first promo for the upcoming season of the controversial reality show Bigg Boss. The teaser shows the Bollywood superstar with his new short hairstyle, adding to the anticipation for the show's return. Khan hints at upcoming twists and tests of love in the teaser. The new season, set to premiere in mid-October, will reportedly have a couples theme and feature several well-known television personalities. A purported video of the incident is doing rounds on social media platforms. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone for an international cricket stadium in Varanasi. The stadium, dedicated to Lord Shiva, is expected to benefit local sportspersons and the economy. The design of the stadium will incorporate elements inspired by the city of Varanasi, such as a crescent-shaped roof, floodlights shaped like a trident, and structures resembling a damru and bell leaves. Ukraine said that its use of Western-supplied heavy weaponry in the intense battle at the outskirts of Bakhmut, seized by Russia in May, is significantly impacting the enemy's positions. The high-level committee formed to explore the feasibility of simultaneous polls on Saturday said it will seek the views of all national and state parties on the issue of synchronized elections. Simultaneous Polls panel has decided to invite recognized national and state parties to seek their views on the issue of synchronized elections, the panel said in a statement after holding its first meeting today. Former India opener Gautam Gambhir believes that amidst a multitude of batting stars, it is Pakistan captain Babar Azam who possesses the potential to set the ICC ODI World Cup ablaze. The recent strain in Indo-Canadian diplomatic ties may impact the number of prospective students heading to Canada for higher education. Safety concerns and potential hate crimes in Canada are causing students to consider alternative options. Experts suggest that the fear is real and could lead to a shift in preferences towards other countries, as seen in the past with the US and Australia. Australia has become the latest country to back India for a permanent United Nations Security Council (UNSC) seat. Australia Foreign Minister Penny Wong has said that there is a need to ensure greater permanent representation with the inclusion of countries like India and Japan. Earlier, during his recent visit to India, U.S. President Joe Biden reiterated support for India's bid for a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. On Saturday, during the laying of the cornerstone for the International Cricket Stadium in Uttar Pradesh in Varanasi, legendary cricketer Sachin Tendulkar presented Prime Minister Narendra Modi a jersey from the Indian cricket team. Indian diplomatic personnel in Canada may have been subjected to illegal surveillance by the Trudeau government, according to claims made by authorities in Ottawa. Actors Priyanka Singh and Ramit Thakur have welcomed a baby girl, although they had not previously announced their pregnancy. Priyanka had a surgery, but both mother and baby are doing well. The couple has named their daughter Varmika, although they currently call her Radhika. Priyanka plans to take a break from work for 5 to 6 months to focus on motherhood, while Ramit continues to shoot for his upcoming movie. The couple has been married for over 5 years. India will face Australia in the second ODI in Indore. Shreyas Iyer will be looking to score runs after missing out in the previous match, while R. Ashwin will aim to take wickets. The Holkar Stadium, known for high-scoring matches, will host the game. India won the first ODI comfortably despite missing key players. Iyer, India's number 4, has had limited time in the middle due to various issues. Pope Francis made a video call to the 95-year-old mother of a priest in Kerala, India. The call was initiated after the woman contracted COVID-19 during the Pope's visit to Canada. The Pope expressed his concern for her well-being and asked for her prayers, while also praising her for raising her grandson, who is part of the Pope's travel team. The call highlighted the Pope's care for the elderly, and the woman was deeply moved by the experience. Rahul Vaidya and Disha Parmar are celebrating a double joy as they welcome their baby girl on September 20th and bring her home on Rahul's birthday. The couple was spotted outside the hospital, with Rahul carrying their daughter. They expressed their gratitude to the hospital and doctors and mentioned that the name for their daughter will be decided by her grandmas. Rahul and Disha are overjoyed by the unexpected timing of their daughter's birth during Ganshotsav. The Indian government plans to restrict imports of IT hardware components worth billions of dollars from China in an effort to boost local sourcing. With the implementation of a production-linked incentive scheme for IT hardware and an import management system, the government aims to create a stronger manufacturing ecosystem for devices and servers in India. Despite India's efforts to extradite fugitive NRIs wanted in a drug and money laundering case, the Canadian government has consistently rejected their requests. The Punjab and Haryana High Court records show that Canadian agencies have cited technical discrepancies in the documents as reasons for rejection. The investigation agencies, including Punjab Police and the Directorate of Enforcement, have been searching for these NRIs since 2015-16. Despite providing personal addresses and following proper channels, Canada has been non-cooperative in clearing the extradition process, according to Indian authorities. Pakistan had initially scheduled a trip to the UAE for next week, where they would spend a few days before proceeding to Hyderabad for their first warm-up match against New Zealand on September 29. The Manipur government on Friday asked the people in possession of illegal weapons to surrender them within 15 days or face comprehensive search operations by security forces. The Chief Minister's office issued a statement in this regard, which added that the government is willing to take a considerate view of the persons submitting such illegal weapons within 15 days. Canadian authorities added Hardeep Singh Nijjar to the no-fly list after receiving information from India about his criminal activities. Nijjar, who had a red corner notice issued against him by Interpol, entered Canadian politics and obtained Canadian citizenship to avoid extradition. He took control of a gurdwara in Canada and used it as a hub for Khalistani activities. The Supreme Court has acquitted 2 death row convicts and 1 lifer in a murder case due to a poorly conducted investigation. The court expressed concern over the inefficiency and lack of professionalism in police investigations and called for the development of a code of investigation to ensure better standards. The New Orange Vande Bharat on the Kasaragod-Tiruvananthapuram route in Kerala will be the second train on this route, but instead of Kottayam it will go through Alappuzha. No case is made out under IPC Section 377, unnatural sex, between a husband and wife as there is no bar on them from going beyond conventional sex, Madhya Pradesh High Court has ruled, while quashing an FIR filed against Congress MLA Umang Singh by his wife, accusing him of indulging in unnatural sex. In what was their second meeting this year, the Quad foreign ministers reiterated their commitment to a free, open, inclusive and resilient Indo-Pacific that is free from intimidation and coercion, and where disputes are settled in accordance with international law. Social media platform X's head of policy for India and South Asia, Samiran Gupta on Saturday resigned, sources told Reuters. He was tasked with overseeing crucial content-related policy matters and advocating for Twitter's stance in light of emerging policy changes, as well as providing support to the local sales team. The novella isn't a modern invention, it has existed since the 14th century when Boccaccio's Decameron had stories within stories that were called novellas. Incident a day after a tree fell on a two-wheeler, Forest Department says no permission was obtained for bringing down the tree. This is a temporary restructure, Mr. Chaithawat told reporters. Unga, age 30, was allegedly involved in a number of ambushes that led to the killing of several security personnel, says Superintendent of Police Tuhin Sina. Many road users say the condition of the Patithur Union Revere stretch of the road, particularly near the Patabaram Bridge, was deplorable. They are pleading with the authorities to at least fill the potholes before the northeast monsoon sets in. Over 3,000 Heavy Engineering Corporation employees, including engineers and technicians, have been brought to the brink of indigence for lack of pay. The center, which gives tourists information on Iduki's biodiversity, is open to the public from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. except on Mondays. The entry fee is fixed at 20 rupees for adults and 10 rupees for children. At the national level, 9.3% of the population were screened, just 1% of the screened were tested and 3.7% of the tested were diagnosed, says report by a National Institute of Epidemiology team. Revenue officials clarify that the owners had not obtained permission from the district administration for the project and stopped the work after being alerted by residents of Sanangkupam village near Ambra they could not grow crops so far in the Ayacut coming under Nagarjunasagar right bank canal. Most of its units cannot afford to pay the huge deposits demanded by the civic body, say Kudambashri sources. Tourists will be allowed to enter the bridge only at a fixed time slot. At a time 15 people can enter the bridge and spend 5 to 7 minutes. The Water Resources Department has completed 70% of the training wall. When completed it would reduce formation of sand blocks and facilitate free flow of water. He added that the statement of Minister K.N. Rajana was his personal opinion. TDP spokesman Pattabhiram says he has written to the publication about Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy's achievement of successfully being out on bail for 10 long years and 11 corruption cases being investigated by the CBI and Enforcement Directorate. The Union Minister also sought to know why the funds available under SDRF were not being used for relief works. An official says rotating seats in executive chair car will help passengers sit in the direction of the train movement. Members of a small group can sit facing each other. Bengaluru-based manufacturer of Pigeon brand cookware to invest 55 crore to put up a fully automated foundry for cast iron cookware. People have understood that it is a clear case of political vendetta, and the various surveys have shown that there is a groundswell of support for the TDP chief after his arrest in a false case, says Ganda Srinivasa Rao. All India Save Education Committee to organize the protest march on September 26. Festivities take off to a religious start on the 6th day of Brahmosavams with the procession of Hanumantavahanam. In a video released by a Christian retreat center, she says she no longer harbors any political ill will towards BJP. It also attributes the sudden rise of her son Anil Antony in the National Party to a divine intervention. Mr. Yadav stressed that BJP MPs are not hesitant using abusive language while sitting in the Temple of Democracy. The recent book by Doyen of Telugu Studies Velturu Narayana Rao, Telugu Dari, A Grammar of Modern Telugu, is a combination of a comprehensive reference grammar and a graded primer for students, says David Schulman in his review of the book outlining the modalities of working of the committee. It decided to invite recognized national parties having governments in states. Food Science Laboratory to be set up on Varsity campus at a cost of 80 lakh rupees. Modi's first meeting in Telangana after the Women's Reservation Bill is passed. Digital University Kerala in association with IEEE CAS organized the program for students of classes 6 to 10. Once the extensive manual is ready, a system would be put in place to inform commuters through multiple means immediately so that they know about a glitch. He says there should be an urban employment guarantee scheme on the lines of MREGS. The 3-day festival, which has been organized by Vellore Institute of Technology since 2008, will comprise of 150 competitions this year, with prizes worth 20 lakh rupees up for grabs. The dictatorial style of functioning of Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy is evident from the way TDP Chief Chandrababu Naidu was arrested in a false case 6 months before the elections, opined participants. 24 candidates were in the fray for the 4 posts this year. The workshop is organized to disseminate the findings of extensive research conducted by Sri Aurobindo Society for the last 4 years and the experiences of farmers who are partners in carrying out this research. As the lone Indian gymnast at the Asian Games, Pranati is glad of the responsibility but also admits having a team around is always better. The major news headlines of the day and more. In containment zones, online classes to continue until further orders. Despite each of its 3 episodes running close to the runtime of a John Wick film, the series never lingers at its moments and jarringly jumps from one sequence to another. The meet is aimed at bringing together stakeholders in the real estate sector of South India, says P. Mahavir, president of Mysuru Realtors Association. The dazzling program, held amid a diplomatic row over the denial of entry to 3 Indian athletes from Arunachal Pradesh, was a melange of technology, cultural history of China, and the spirit of the continent's unity. Weeding out physical files, reducing pendency of public grievances, beautifying office space, and moving to the digital mode are part of the ongoing Special Campaign Secretariat reforms. The products of FRBL can help reduce the cost of house building by 20% to 22% and increase space availability by 8% to 10%. The production here came to a virtual standstill ahead of the COVID-19 lockdown. TDP-MLAs from the district urge party cadre not to lose heart over the arrest of Mr. Naidu, resolved to take Babu Surety Bhavishya Thuki guarantee campaign to grassroots. Stakeholders concerned over cumulative impact of scaled-down Dasara festivities and Kovri crisis in Mysuru. With a 7-lakh-strong Sikh diaspora in Canada, the conflict about a pro-Khalistan leader has political implications in Punjab. Parties appeal to different vote banks in Punjab, other states, and the diaspora. With the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu by the CID in the alleged skill development scam case, and uncertainty looming over his release in the near future as the investigating agency is reportedly bracing to corner him and his son Lokesh in one case or the other, the question that worries the rank and file is who will lead the party and take on the RCP in the 2024 elections. National History Museum, Signature Tower and Convention Center at Kapulapata, Water Park on the Vizag-Bemili Road, Science City on Kailasagiri Hills, Kalavani Indoor Stadium on the lines of Kalabharandi and Hyderabad will be developed. Unguarded stretches of public parks also remain open for drug pushers and addicts. The men's side eases past Tajikistan 3-0 while the women's team topples Nepal by the same scoreline. Both squads rest key players to test their bench strength. Some journals charge academics to publish their research, without first editing or scrutinizing the work with any ethical or editorial standards. Since the Commission did not issue any addendum notifying any changes, it was bound to carry out all the provisions in notification issued for the examination. While the next few weeks will be critical, doctors were thrilled at Fawcett's early response to the pig organ,